Good evening. Welcome to Current Affairs. Parliament is going to be summoned on January 31st. So that will be the beginning of the budget session. So unlike all these years in India, budget is going to be presented on February 1st. But otherwise, the general tendency, the tradition and age-old practice in India is that budget is presented on the last working day of February, and 1 or 2 days before that one, railway budget is presented. But this time there is no separate railway budget, and railway budget has got merged with the general budget, and that general budget, only one budget from this year, it is going to be presented in the parliament on February 1st. But as we have discussed, and remaining other small points you must be knowing, the parliament is summoned by and prorogued by the President of India. And with respect to this budget, so certain objections have been raised by the opposition parties. Like next month, in the month of February and March, so there are going to be elections in the 5 states as we have discussed earlier. So during that time, so whatever the matter that is present in the budget, so that may be attracting certain sections of the society. So in these 5 states, and obviously they may get attracted towards the government because of these schemes, and they may vote in favor of Bharatiya Janata Party, and that was a fear that was expressed by Congress Party and some other political parties. That's the reason why, so they have requested the Central Election Commission to look into this one and give orders to the government to stop the presentation of the budget on February 1st. But the request is that budget should be presented after March 8th. So that was the request. So, but whether it is going to be accepted or not, regarding this one, what happened? The Election Commission has wrote a letter to the government, and Election Commission wanted to know the opinion of the government on this. So depending on that one, and of course, Election Commission has given time up to January 10th, that is tomorrow, and by tomorrow, the government is going to give the response. But the point is that when I say government, what do you mean by this government here? Whether the Election Commission will write the letter directly to the Prime Minister or somebody else, or the Election Commission will directly write the letter to the Finance Minister. So the answer is no. The most important person with respect to Indian administrative system is the Cabinet Secretary. Cabinet Secretary is the senior most IAS officer in the country, and that Cabinet Secretary will assist the Prime Minister and also the entire cabinet every time. And with respect to this administrative decision making, Cabinet Secretary is also very much involved. Of course, with the knowledge of the Prime Minister only, everything will happen. That is the reason why, if you want to seek any information from the government, the Election Commission has wrote the letter to the Cabinet Secretary. And that is the reason why, again, Cabinet Secretary is there in the news. Kindly remember, whether the Cabinet Secretary office will come into the news or not, but the name of the Cabinet Secretary is always important for any examination, and this is the senior most authority in the entire Indian administrative system. And as of now, and right now, this is Mr. P.K. Sinha, who is the Cabinet Secretary, right? So first I'll show you the document and I'll go to the other points later. Kindly have a look at this. Chief Election Commissioner, as I told you in the earlier class also, you can have a look at this name, Nazim Zaidi, and the current Cabinet Secretary is Mr. P.K. Sinha. Election Commission has sought a response from the government for deferring the presentation of the union budget in the view of the 5 state assembly elections. So we need to wait for the decision to be announced by the Election Commission. Next. So when it comes to the parliament has summoned, the president has summoned the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and this is the Parliament. Parliament has been summoned, and the session begins on January 31st, 2017. So that will be the day one. And kindly remember one point: on this particular day, the president is going to address both the houses of the Parliament, and this is the constitutional obligation on the part of the President of India. Whenever the first session begins in a year, whenever the first session begins, that session must begin with the address of the President of India. And that session is going to start on January 31st. And nicely, you can watch the President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, is going to deliver the address to both the houses of the Parliament on January 31st, 2017. And as I told you earlier, please remember these words. Very commonly asked questions in the examination. Most of you already know because you already have attended my Indian polity classes. But otherwise, let me repeat once again. The Parliament is summoned by the President of India. The Parliament will be prorogued by the President of India. Look at this. So the Union Budget will be presented on February 1st, 2017 by the Finance Minister if the decks are cleared by the Election Commission. Right? And for the first time, we are presenting the budget on 1st of February. Otherwise, general tradition is the presentation of the general budget on the last working day of February. And it has been advanced to February 1st. But whether it is going to be presented on this day or not, we need to wait and watch. Sakshi Maharaj, you must be aware of this person, BJP member of parliament, always in the news. So because of the controversial statements made by this person, and FIR has been lodged against this person, and the BJP itself, Bharatiya Janata Party itself, has distanced itself from the comments made by Sakshi Maharaj. And in Uttar Pradesh, he made certain statements, and the comments are made directly against the Muslim community. That's the reason why it was taken very seriously and he was criticized. And this person is known for his controversial statements. All right. I'll just show you these points. Have a look at this. Meaning is simple. At least the people who are there in the responsible positions, so they are expected not to make such type of comments. But unfortunately, our politicians are making like this, and one of the politicians is Sakshi Maharaj. Look at this. He is a member of the parliament from Unnao. He is known for his controversial statements. He said that a particular community which spoke of 4 wives and 40 children was responsible for population related problems. And he demanded for a common and fine law. One second. And fine law to codify the number of children one should be allowed to have. So he wanted a law now so that how many children can be possessed by a person, maximum, that should be defined according to Sakshi Maharaj. Next. Pondicherry, otherwise you call Puducherry. It is one of the union territories in India. But the speciality for this is that this particular union territory, of course, along with Delhi, so you have a legislature. A legislature has been created, and Council of Ministers is also there, which is headed by the Chief Ministers. And along with that one, you also have a Lieutenant Governor who is appointed by the central government, by the President of India. And with respect to Puducherry, so the controversy is going on. You must be knowing the name of the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, that is Kiran Bedi. So he is the first IPS officer in India, woman IPS officer in India. And she is the source of inspiration for so many women in India. And that particular person, so after her retirement, she came into politics and she contested in the Delhi elections. And of course she also got defeated, otherwise she could have become, if BJP got majority, she could have become chief minister for Delhi. But what happened, she has been appointed as a, because of the debacle of BJP in assembly elections with respect to Delhi, she could not become the chief minister, and she herself got defeated. So later she has been appointed in the year 2016. She has been appointed as the lieutenant governor for Puducherry. And if you look at the chief minister is Mr. V. Narayana Swamy. And nowadays, if you look at our leaders, so they are trying to use this technology in a very, very fine and appropriate manners. And one of those persons is Ms. Kiran Bedi. So after she became the lieutenant governor of Puducherry, so she created a group, the WhatsApp group. So where she has added the important officials of Puducherry, so that the official information can be shared very easily through the so-called this WhatsApp, which is a very, very easy one. But recently, what happened? Unfortunately, one of the officers over there, so he posted a video, and which is considered to be very, very sensitive one, and which cannot be seen. In fact, and it was taken very seriously by Ms. Kiran Bedi, and that particular officer was summoned to Raj Nivas. Raj Nivas is the official residence of Lieutenant Governor in Puducherry. And later, the order has been given that case has to be filed against him under Information Technology Act, and she also gave the order for his suspension. Later, what happened? The government of Puducherry, which is headed by V. Narayana Swamy, so they issued a circular saying that the officials should not use the this social media. And this circular was issued, and immediately after that, Ms. Kiran Bedi also issued the order saying that the order that is given by the government is nullified. So there started the actual problem. So between the lieutenant governor and the so-called the chief minister. So who is more powerful here? Whether the person who is appointed by the central government, or whether a person who is democratically elected by the people of Puducherry and who became the chief minister through a process. So that is the reason why. So especially after she became the lieutenant governor of Puducherry, because and she is known for her straightforwardness. All right. So of course it may not be accepted by majority of the people, and so many complaints were there, and there was a demand. There was a demand that she has to be recalled, and of course BJP may not recall her immediately, but she herself has said that once she completes 2 years of term, she has decided to go back, it seems. But otherwise, what happened? Meanwhile, election commission came into the picture, and election commission has issued a notice to the state government saying that that particular official who was suspended by lieutenant governor is the person who is appointed for a purpose by the election commission, and the state government and the government of Puducherry or the lieutenant governor has no right to take any action on a person who is appointed by the election commission. So like this, the tussle is going on, and hopefully it should be resolved. So meaning is simple. At the highest level, if the people contradict with each other, so that will always become a bigger news. That will always become bigger news. So now, so the concept of the powers will come into picture. Who is more powerful? Is it lieutenant governor, or the chief minister, or the election commission that comes into the picture? That's the reason why whenever these type of contradictions are there, conflicts are there, please follow that particular news, and it will be especially useful for these people who are writing the civil services examination. Am I clear now? Look at this. Tussle between lieutenant governor and the government. Lieutenant governor is Kiran Bedi, and Chief Minister is V. Narayan Swamy. And the rest of the story I told you already. And if you look at India, Myanmar, the border trade started between these two countries in the year 1995. Okay. Now, see here, so when I'm talking about a country, I told you already, and you need to find out the location of that particular country. So we are discussing about India and Myanmar, and hopefully you have a world map beside you, and kindly have a look at Myanmar. So if you look at the maps like this, without your knowledge, you are strengthening yourself. You are strengthening yourself, and if you want to try, you please try and tell me. Next, look at this. So the border trade started between these two nations in 1995, and the trade came to standstill because of the continuous blockades hit the trade, apart from the highway robberies and rampant extortion by the militant outposts. And this is happening mainly in Manipur. So here, if you look at, especially the northeastern states in India, these are the states which are always, this for quite long period of time. So they are suffering under the concept of this insurgency. Lots of insurgency groups are present in the northeastern states, and these groups, they have their own demands. And this particular area, northeast area, so various combinations are present, and the people belong to various tribal groups, and they speak different languages. Their cultures are different. So, but what happened is that the government of India, it wanted to address the problem comprehensively, but it seems that for quite long period of time, the government of India has failed to address this problem very effectively. So reasons are many with respect to northeastern states. And if you look at our India map very clearly, so that particular area, so-called the seven states in the northeast, which are called seven sisters, plus Sikkim. If you look at this area is seen as a segregated or isolated area, and it is connected to the main India with the so-called a narrow strip. And of course, you get the people also this northeastern states. So they have the Mongoloid features, and with respect to rest of the India, so they have the features that are related to the Dravidians or Aryan Dravidians, like this. So, but the reason, whatever maybe the reason, is that since beginning there was a negligence with respect to this area, and that is the reason why, so there is so much of insurgency that is present in the northeastern states, and the government is trying to address these issues. But what is happening, so many people who are living over there, so they are suffering with the blockades that are happening. For example, if you look at this India and Myanmar, though the trade has been started, in the year 1995, every time it is getting affected because of the these blockades. For example, if you look at some of the insurgent groups, they will give a call. And they are very serious and particular about stopping the economic relations between this India and Myanmar. So like this, say for example, last year, if you look at this one, more than 250 days there was a blockage. More than 250 days there was a blockade, and if that is the case, how the economy will improve, economic relations will improve between the two nations. That's the reason why this is the time for the government, that this issue that is existing in northeastern states for a quite long period of time, that has to be addressed. Clear? And for this reason, you have to eliminate the concept of the insurgency. For that reason, this particular area has to be developed. Special focus, special attention, and the government is expected to work with a commitment, especially with respect to the northeastern states. Otherwise, if you look at India, especially after the liberalization in the year 1991, entire India, we have seen the development in entire India except in the northeastern states. Clear? Until and unless the development is not reaching right till the time, so we cannot say that India is developed. So this is the time the state governments must work in coordination with the central government and see that the economic backwardness has to be removed. Clear? Next, that's the reason why if you want to remove the problem, so maybe insurgency or anything, development is a solution. For this reason, you need to work with lots of commitment. So since it is there in the news, one possible question in the examination is that when the trade between India and Myanmar has been started, answer is 1995. Right. So the year 2015 has witnessed 250 days of blockade. 365 days out of 365, 250 days gone on the name of blockades. So the ongoing economic blockade imposed by United Naga Council since November 1st, right? November 1st, 2016, even now also it is continuing. Next, I'm going further. Please look at this. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. This is called NRI's Day, Non-Resident Indians Day. See here, actually this particular Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, it was started in the year 2003. It was started in the year 2003 and January 9th has been selected for this particular occasion. So today is January 9th and today is the Pravasi Bharati Divas. And for the last 3 days, if you observe 7th, 8th and 9th, so these celebrations took place in Bengaluru. One possible question is that where this Pravasi Bharati Divas was held in the year 2017, answer is Bengaluru, right? And when it was started in the year 2003. But the point is that why specifically January 9th has been selected? It is because in the year 1995, in the year 1915, Mahatma Gandhi came back to India from South Africa. And obviously, always we give lots of respect and reverence to Mahatma Gandhi. So in the memory of arrival of Mahatma Gandhi on this particular day, this day has been chosen as the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Am I clear? So please remember, and in so many examinations, it is a question. Kindly remember the date. I'll show you the document. You please have a look at the points. Look at this. Started in the year 2003. It's sponsored by the Ministry of External Affairs. Every year, January 9th is celebrated as Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. This is the day on which Gandhiji came back to India from South Africa in the year 1915. And in the year 2017, it's held in Bengaluru. Right? Now, this point I have already shown you. Just have a look at this because we are very near to our Republic Day to be celebrated on January 26th. That is the reason why. So this is one possible question if you have any examination. This one I already explained to you in the previous classes. But look at the name. Please remember the name. Most probable question. Right? Fine. Okay. So that's all for the day. And I'll see you tomorrow with some more current affairs. Till then, I wish you all a very, very, very good luck and take very good care of yourself. Thank you so much. Good night.